Attempting to make basic lean dough and attempting to bake it.
Waha! Today, making basic lean dough, just because I want to see whether or not I can actually make a nice loaf of bread. And just to minimize my losses in case I have to eat my failures, I'm actually using half of the specified amounts of ingredients that I need. So first, we add half a cup of water. Then we sprinkle some yeast. Then we add 3/4 of a cup of flour. Please don't collapse, please don't collapse, please don't collapse, please. This is heavily impacted flour. Next, mix with a wooden spoon until just mixed and then add salt. I'm gonna need both hands for this. Adding the salt all over the workplace. Actually, one wonders whether or not I should add more flour. Yeah, there's no kill like overkill. Anyway, while I'm mixing, I'm just going to let people know right now that I don't have a bread mixer. And that's clearly obvious from the last time I did a mix around. I'm also going to point out that I've never actually baked a leavened loaf of bread, so this should be extremely interesting. Aha, more flour! There was something in the instruction about not adding too much flour because of the humidity, but hey, this is turning into a sizably small, which is alright, because the only one who's going to be eating it is me. You know what I should do? I should count the number of rotations I do with the bowl. Now in this section of the recipe, I'd like to call flour overkill. This thing is not going to hit. There we go. I'm going to have to apologize at this point. I probably am following the recipe wrong, but no one has stopped me yet. You've probably hit this like already. If not, please hit like. Liking my kitchen failures is a lot better than liking my kitchen successes. Slightly more entertaining on YouTube. Gino, roll until you get better at it. Or at least until you become more consistent with your dough rolling. Alright, after much tribulation, that's done. I'm going to put that in a container, seal it to let rise. My needed dough surprise. I'm gonna let it rise. This is an awfully large container to put it in, but this is the mixing bowl, and I don't want to wash anything else. So I'm just gonna sit it here and let that rise. While this bread is rising, I also went off screen and ordered a pizza for lunch, because I'm not gonna be eating bread for lunch. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll join it in with a pizza. We'll see. Alright, about an hour's passed. Instructions now say to punch it to expel the gas and put it back into rest for another 5 minutes. Great! To all the bread purists out there, I distinctly apologize. I'm just punching the gas out of this thing, and I'm gonna let it rest again. But I'm gonna let it rest in a dry bowl, because I'm pretty sure I did one of those steps wrong. Right, so while the bread relaxes from the punching I gave it, it's time to get this thing running. Better set it to 45 minutes, because we're asking it to preheat the oven. And set the heat to 205 degrees. So while the oven is getting ready, I'm going to take this thing out of the container, fix anything again, covering it with plastic wrap loosely. I'm gonna let it cool for another 30 or 40 minutes, and then it's time to put the sucker in the oven. In the baking tray, heading into the oven. Now in the oven, to be checked periodically for failure. And after having spent an appropriate time in the oven, we now have bread. Although, note to Gino, the next time you put it in the oven, take it out after like 15 minutes. You idiot. I'm gonna enjoy eating the middle part. Probably gonna have a hollowed out shell. Fail! Will you look at the consistency of that sucker? Whee! Springy.